Yes, we are reviewing my Disney Defective Canadian tapes for Warren when I used to have both of these copies. But that one I used to have with the white 10-1 copy for Kidnapped. And that I used to have with the black one with the white highlighting on it has the little bit of thin small arrow in between and the line cassette shell and oversized wheels. That means it does not work either. And neither the Kidnapped Canadian copy does not work at all. Here's the 1991 VHS of Kidnapped. This is the American copy. This is the only... Well, I got the American copy when I got these at Goodwill back in like December 2010. They got donated in 2020. Then I got a Canadian copy from eBay, and that tape was not working at all. So, and I couldn't even fast forward all the way through because, yeah, it does take like a hard time and stuff. Yep, that's right, here it is. I got this in June 2024. This is the American copy. Yeah, since I used to have the 1991 Canadian VHS of Kidnapped, but that tape was very defective, and it kept squeaking the noise, and it does not fast forward at all. It's gonna go running slow for good. And here it is. Here's the ink label on there. I got it from last year in June. And the print date is January 15th, 1992. And it's a layer pressing, but even though this is still a 1991 VHS. So this is my new copy, which is the American copy is good. So better than the so it is better than a Disney Canadian tape too. Yeah, I was gonna try to Kidnapped 1991 Canadian VHS. It was back in the spring 2024, in March or April. I can't even fast forward all the way to the end. So, well, it does exactly the same thing as the 1991 French Canadian VHS of Fantasia. Yeah, it does. Same thing. And I got the 1992. The American copy of Kidnapped from 1991 works better than a Canadian VHS 2. Yep, that's right, and it doesn't work. There are some other copies of the 1991 Canadian VHS of Kidnapped. They're made fully working on Blackwood. If the white 10 went with the medium white arrow this time. Yep. That's right. Here's the 1992 Canadian VHS of the 1992 VHS of the new Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, King of the Beasties. This is the one. Well, I got this in July of last year, and that tape was not working either. Here it is. This one I got on eBay back in October of 2024, just one day right before Halloween. So, here's an ink label, and it's printed February 9, 1993, so this is a layer pressing, but it's still a 1992 VHS. So, and this tape does fully work all the way through. Yep. But it works all the way through, but unlike this Canadian tape, but I used to have the 1992 Canadian VHS of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, King of the Beasties, but that tape was being defective, and it refused to rewind and fast forward all the way to the beginning or the end, because it was having some tracking problems, but in refusing to rewind, it was very slow, and it stopped to eject on their own. Yeah, because I had to get the eBay returned item from Pam's, off of the Pam's computer too, when we got to send the VHS back to the Postal Annex on the 9th of July 2024. Yeah. Then on the 10th of July, the next day, when we took the VHS tape to the Postal Annex, well, and at the Victorville, California, and that tape. Yeah, we took that defective Disney Canadian tape to the Postal Annex. Yep, that's right. And I couldn't order the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh King of Beasties when we got a refund of money until the 16th of July. Well, we've been waiting for months to order that too. And he had to wait till Christmas of that 2024. Because we ordered it on around the 24th of October 2024 for the regular American VHS. But on the old order, when we used to order it on that Canadian tape on the 4th of July 2024, yeah, it was delivered on the 9th of July, and that tape was being defective and they didn't know that. Well, my 1992 Canadian VHS of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh Sky was delivered. That tape was fully working all the way through. It's not defective anymore, so it's not defective at all. Yeah, I fast forwarded and rewind it all the way back to the beginning. Yep, that's right, on the Panasonic VCR. And I like the 1992 American VHS is better than the why is better than the 1992 Canadian VHS? Well, it's a defective copy, just a regular English Canadian copy of that, but not the French Canadian copy, no. It was not working at all. Yeah. And both of these are defective Disney Canadian tapes. That's the one with Kidnapped with the tan win also. And the 1992 Canadian VHS of the King and the Beasties from Winnie the Pooh. These are our two defective Disney Canadian tapes. But the American copies does fully work all the way through, so yeah, that's it for that. But the King and the Beasties and Kidnapped VHS, the Canadian copies, they don't work. It does basically the same thing as the French Canadian VHS of Fantasia from 1991 and the 1992 Canadian VHS of 101 Dalmatians. Too, yeah. But for some defective copies of that Canadian tape of Kidnapped from 1991, it was part of the Walt Disney Studio Film Collection series lineup. That's right. And for the defective copy of that Canadian tape of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, King and the Beasties from 1992, part of the Walt Disney Home Video Source of Mickey series lineup. Yep. That's right. Well, it does basically the same thing as the Fantasia French Canadian VHS does. Yep.